A story about a lovable little boy called Yahya. He was born without the very thing that immediately sets us apart, that identifies us to friends and strangers, a face. Yahya was 3 years old when he was brought to Australia last year from a small village in Morocco in the hope that our surgeons could find a way to help him. The team of brilliant doctors that successfully separated conjoined twins Trishna and Krishna 6 years ago made the decision to attempt a delicate and dangerous procedure. No one could be sure Yahya could survive the high-risk surgery. Our reporter is Dr. Andrew Rochford.
Ready to go. Thank you. Hi guys, how are you? You ready to go? We're all anxious, but looking forward to it. So it should be good, and it's going to take quite a while. You okay?
I'm a bit scared about it, to be honest.
What scares you the most?
If he doesn't pull through.
Three-year-old Yahya Jabali is about to have a life-changing operation. But there's a chance the surgery that could give him his best hope of having a normal life will also kill him.
This is craniofacial neurosurgery at its extreme. So this is like a cardiac surgeon having a horrendous heart operation and knowing that it was a 50-50 chance, but it was worth taking it because without it, the person would die. The problem here is that Yahya may not die if we don't operate, but he might if we do.
A kiss from you, please.
Former Melbourne homewares importer Fatima Baraka helped raise money to bring Yahya to Australia for the risky operation.
That's when Tony gets to do his magic. Okay?
In the hours ahead, Professor Tony Holmes and his team of surgeons at Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital will attempt one of the toughest operations ever.
This kid doesn't look human, and I believe that it's the right of every body to look human.
The odds are stacked against Yahya, but this tough little 3-year-old has been battling long odds his whole life. I first met the toddler at his home in this tiny village in Morocco, on the northern tip of Africa. It was a confronting encounter, because Yahya was born without a face. His parents kept him hidden from outsiders, but the local kids, especially his neighbour Heba, love him. She sees beyond the deformity to the sweet little boy within. Yahya can't see, and while he can hear, he can't talk. But he can laugh, and he loves a hug.
Yahya's deformity is severe. Sadly, there's not a nice way of saying that. Just here you can see where his eyes should have formed, and this hole in the middle of his face is his nose, or should be his nose. You can see his mouth is open and turned to the outside, and just here under my fingers, I can feel a pulsation because between my fingers and his brain, there's no bone, it's just skin. And yet, despite his deformity, this is a beautiful, very sweet 3-year-old boy. And you can understand just why his parents... I was so desperate to find him help. He is very much a 3-year-old boy. Goodness me. You're a rock star.
His parents, Fatima and Mustafa, can't access sophisticated medical care. They had no idea Yahya's development in the womb was abnormal. His condition came as a complete surprise.
Do you remember when Yahya was born and what it was like the first time that you saw his face?
I had a sense of joy that my first child was about to be born. I was very happy. When he was born, my wife's doctor called me and said, "Come see your son," but he didn't inform me what he was like until I saw him.
Local doctors couldn't help. Then a photo was posted on Facebook by one of the villagers.
There was a big phone number in red. It was quite obvious that it was a cry for help of some sort. And I found myself reaching for the phone and dialing the number.
Fatima Baraka was born in Morocco and now lives in Melbourne. She believed surgeons in Australia could help Yahya and set about raising funds and arranging the operation.
I can't wait to meet him. I don't see a deformed child. I just see this beautiful little child who's, yeah, he's just a beautiful little soul. That's all I see.
Fatima travelled to Morocco to meet the family and the little boy she desperately wanted to help. She was overwhelmed by what she saw. Fatima had promised to help and she was good to her word. A few days later, she flew back to Australia with Yahya and his mum. And before long, he was in hospital where 3D scans revealed the extent of the deformity. Whole sections of his skull had failed to fuse, leaving him without a nose, mouth and eyes.
We don't know what causes it. It's sporadic, it's not genetic, and most kids with the really severe ones probably would not survive pregnancy anyway. They would spontaneously abort early on in pregnancy. But some do.
So the fact he's reached 3 years of age with such significant deformity is quite rare.
I think it's very rare, incredibly rare.
And incredibly, Tony decided he could attempt the difficult and delicate surgery to repair Yahya's face. But there are dangers in operating.
The risks are that he can get leakage of fluid, meningitis, which is an infection of the fluid around the brain, air into the system while we're operating through the veins, and going into his heart and causing heart failure. But his risks, we feel, are the same as any other large neurosurgical procedure. To be honest, we're hoping to really get that first operation underway in the very near future.
Very good news. It's very exciting.
It is, it's fantastic, it's amazing, eh?
He will have a human face. So then he has a chance of just being a normal child who happens to be blind. And hopefully that's what will happen.
No one knew it at the time, but Yahya's mum was 3 months pregnant when she left Morocco. She and her son moved in with Fatima, while doctors planned a series of surgeries that would be needed in the months ahead.
Where is the little man?
He's right here,
Here he is.
on his little rocking horse.
Hello. Hello, mate. Yahya. Hello.
Yeah. Amo. 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 Yeah.
How's your rocking horse? He looks good.
Oh, he's great. He's in really good health. He's a happy little boy. He's a little Aussie now.
Yahya's first surgery is unusual because it's designed to give him more skin that will eventually be used to repair his face.
Tony's made incisions on each side of his scalp. Underneath, he's going to insert expanders that will stretch the skin, which he can then use at the big operation to build him a new nose.
Over the next 6 weeks, Tony injects just a few millilitres of saline at a time into the balloon-like expanders. The result is this.
It's looking fantastic, although these are certainly getting bigger. His little pseudo horns.
That's amazing.
It's amazing how much skin you can get, isn't it? He's just a wonderful little fella, and we just hope we can get the best result for him.
Three months later, the balloons have almost doubled in size. Enough new skin for his facial reconstruction to go ahead.
He's a little fighter. He really has that fighter instinct in him. This is a kid whose parents were told to take him home. He won't live long.
Well, he's proving them wrong, isn't he?
Yeah, he's hanging in there.
Yahia's mum is desperately homesick and misses her husband Mustafa. She's also, by now, heavily pregnant. Fatima has told her they're at the airport to meet a friend. She has no idea her husband is about to appear. He's come for Yahia's big operation and possibly for the birth of their second child.
He said he's incredibly happy. It's very happy times for him. And he's look, I'm speechless. I'm just so happy for them to be together.
For the family, everything is coming to a head. Yahia's surgery will happen tomorrow. A new baby could happen any time.
How difficult would this surgery be?
I think this one's really about as difficult as it gets. This is a 9.5 out of 10 degree of difficulty, without any doubt.
It's almost 2 years since Fatima saw little Yahia on Facebook and resolved to help. Today, Tony Holmes and his talented team are going to attempt to give him the very thing that defines us all and that we all take for granted.
About the whole thing, I'm very hopeful, but there is that little bit of, what if, that thought that creeps in every now and again, and so I've really got to stay positive and just hope for the best.
Thank you, my friends. See you throughout this journey.
This is the same team that successfully separated conjoined twins Krishna and Trishna. The operation on Yahia has its own unique challenges and risks.
I've been fairly firm in telling Fatima this, but I think sometimes the non-medical community thinks that we can do miracles when we don't do miracles.
You don't do miracles?
No.
Really?
We don't do miracles. No, we just do reconstruction. And sure, things have got a lot better in the last 20 or 30 years, but basically it's still major human carpentry.
The carpentry plan for Yahia is extensive. It's estimated his operation will take 8 hours. It's expensive. Some of it is funded by donations, and the doctors have given some of their time free of charge. The most painstaking work involves a neurosurgeon separating Yahia's brain from his skull.
So this is the delicate part of the operation, is getting the brain separate from all of this cleft and sealed up. So everyone's sort of just a bit anxious at the moment.
Outside the operating theatre, it's an agonising wait for Fatima and Yahia's mum and dad.
There were a lot of mixed emotions. I think there was a lot of mixed emotions for all of us. You know, we just banded together and supported each other.
I've got my finger in the cleft.
The operation is going well, but taking a lot more time than anyone expected. Yahia's now been on the operating table for the last 8 hours. In that time, he's had a blood transfusion after losing almost half the entire volume of his blood. He's also had the lining of his brain carefully dissected away from his skull. Right now, he's moving from one critical phase to the next. This is where they start remodelling the bones of his face.
If we can get his mouth closed, his palate right, make him a nose so that he looks reasonably good, bring the eye sockets together, expand the lids so that he could have artificial eyes or pop on some Ray Charles glasses and make him look human. I mean, that's his right. And I think if we can do that, it will be a good thing.
A major part of rebuilding Yahia's new face is getting the bones right. They need to take the skull from looking like this to looking like this, and that involves a series of cuts through the bones. One in the middle of the face, on the sides of the skull, in the top of the palate, and also back here to fill the gap in the front that will be formed when the bones are moved to form his face. This is intricate, delicate, and very difficult surgery.
That's where you are. See at the top of that, there is a little hole.
Yeah.
Moving the face was a big exercise. It was a very slow process.
Still a bit anxious about the actual drainage.
Watching Tony work with such steady and meticulous care is a real privilege. Watching him do it for so long is awe-inspiring. There's a large surgical team. Some work in shifts, but most, including Tony, are here for the entire operation. It's been a physical and mental marathon. So it's 4 a.m. He's been on the operating table close to 19 hours.
Yes, yeah.
Is it what you expected?
No, we thought we'd be a lot quicker than this. Great.
Well done. Hang on to that.
It's gone very well. So far, we're very happy. Couldn't be much better. Yeah, I think we're all exhausted, but yeah, it was a great achievement, and hopefully he won't get complicated and settle down well. We'll just have to wait and see.
The challenge facing the team of brilliant surgeons at Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital was to build Yahia a face. The surgery, which involves separating his brain from his deformed skull, has been both difficult and dangerous.
It was massive carpentry. I mean, we really completely changed the whole structure of his face and repaired his jaw, repaired his cleft, built him a nose, and it's gone very well.
The operation has taken 18 hours and 45 minutes. Yahia is wheeled back to his room in ICU. He's still bandaged, but his new face is partially visible for Mum and Dad and Fatima to see for the first time.
When they first saw him, it was, you could just tell that they were just stunned and just so happy.
That's amazing.
It's a huge joy, a huge happiness to see my son in such a situation.
2 weeks later, Yahia's doing remarkably well. His new face healing better than expected. You can even see his smile.
He's smiling. He knows you.
Yes.
He knows you very well.
I would expect so.
He's incredible. He's just, you know, I just can't believe what he has been through and how he just comes out and gets better and better every time.
The risks of the operation were great, but I think they were worth it so that he could have a decent life.
What kind of future do you predict for this boy now?
A really bright one. A really bright one. He's a very smart little kid. He's got so much potential. There's no reason for him not to have a good, healthy, bright future.
And there's some other news in the family, isn't there?
Yes.
Yahia now has a baby sister. Her name is Amal. She was born 5 weeks after his operation. There were early fears she too could have been born with the same condition as Yahia. She wasn't. She is perfect in every way. But when it comes to miracles, it's Yahia who steals the show.
Hello, mate. How good does he look?
Looks amazing, doesn't he?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
He just looks like a little boy.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, I mean, you kind of forget what it looked like before.
I know, I don't think about it anymore now. He's just Yahia to me. I can't believe how quickly he's bounced back, considering he's literally had his skull broken and put back together.
I know. In multiple places.
In multiple places.
Yeah. You got a roof to your mouth. Yeah.
Yahia still needs prosthetic eyes and some more surgery on his nose, but already life is different. This was Yahia before, and this is how he looks today. His new face is already giving him a chance to live close to a normal life. Something his family dreamed of, something Fatima hoped for, and now it's happening.
I brought Yahia for surgery. I didn't count for another baby. I didn't count for the whole family. But everything is good. Everything is great. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. And there's a will.
Doesn't he look great? Dr. Andrew Rochford reporting. Penny McWhirter was the producer. And congratulations to the amazing medical team at Royal Children's Hospital and the woman who made it all possible for Fatima Baraka.